पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णा प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीता वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटाजयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधन सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Welcome back to the study of the Bhagavad Gita. We are studying the 14th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita which deals with the three gunas. While we study Vedanta philosophy, we come across a terminology called triputi, that is threefold. So many things are threefold. The reality of the whole being, of the whole universe, is described as three. One manifesting as the three: Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. That which is full of truth, that which is full of brilliance, jnana or knowledge, and Anantam, that which is expansive. There is no place where Brahman does not exist. Everywhere Brahman is manifest. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. And then we have the three things, that is Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Like that, everything is divided into three. So one nature is manifested in three levels, or into three parts, so to say. That is Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. And everything, anything that you take in this universe, manifest universe, is full of these three. The highest sattvika person also has got in him sattva, rajas and tamas, not that he is devoid of the others. And a rajasic person also has got sattva, rajas and tamas, but the quantum of each of these differs. In a rajasic person, the quantum of rajas is at most, sattva is very little and tamas is also little. There is a lot of tamas, whereas sattva and rajas is to the minimum. Whereas in the nature of a sattvic person, his entire being is full of sattva, just a little bit of rajas and tamas is there to maintain the body as well as to interact with the world. So sattva, rajas and tamas, this is called the triputi. That means the three-fold or three kinds of nature that we are all made of. And understanding the nature of these three qualities that we all possess, it elevates us, it makes us go towards that which we should go after. That is what we want to get or aim at. So that's why in the previous verses, Sri Krishna has spoken what is sattva, what is rajas, and what is tamas. So he has said that very clearly. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat. That is, sattva is that which is nirmala, which is pure, transparent. There is nothing hidden over there. Everybody can see. That's why Sri Ramakrishna was like a transparent person. Everything, there was no hiding, there was nothing, no secret in him. All the great souls are like that. Very simple, very straightforwardness. Guile, Sri Ramakrishna used to use a word which is translated into English as guilelessness, just as like a little baby which does not have any pride or anything. Guilelessness. That is the state of a sattvic person. And then the rajas is ragatmaka. That means a person who is full of desires, who wants to create, who wants to do things, and who is attached easily to things of the world. That is the nature of a rajasic person. And a tamasic person is a person who is not interested in anything. He is only interested in himself, just to look after himself and to lead a very lazy life. These are the three different types of personalities we see in this world. And how does these three gunas influence us? In the next two verses, Sri Krishna is talking about it, the 9th and 10th verses. He says, Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajah karmani bharata jnanam avritya tu tamaha pramade sanjayatyuta. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati. What does sattva do? It gives a mood of joy and happiness. It gives, but also the translator here, Swami Tapasyanandaji, he has translated it like this. He says, sattva also enslaves. It enslaves one to a mood of joy and happiness. Does not want to go beyond that. So very happy and very joyous. So that is also a binding nature. I would like to remind ourselves of the story that Sri Ramakrishna tells about this. There was the three robbers accosted a traveler in a jungle. So a person had done some purchases from one village, and he had got certain things, and then he was traveling. He had got some money also with him, and he was traveling. And he had to pass through a forest. As he was passing through the forest, he was accosted by these three robbers. And one of them said, "Kill this man. Let us kill this person and take away all of his possessions and let us go from here." But the second person said, why should we kill him? He doesn't seem to be a very ferocious person. It looks like a good person. So why not just rob him of everything, tie him to this tree, and let us escape. By the time he goes home, he will, by that time we would be gone out of this forest and we would have escaped. He cannot go to the police. So both of them, all the three of them, that is decided, and they tied him to a tree, took away all of his possessions, and they went away. And this man was crying, and he did not know what to do. He was bound, and he did not even know how to release himself. He struggled, and he could not get through it. So in the meantime, the third robber, who looked like a very good person, he came back and he untied this man, and then he put some balm to his wounds, and he said, "My dear, I am very sorry. This is our robbing people is our profession. So we don't know anything else to do. Therefore, now, but I feel that you are a good man, and therefore I have come back." So he said, "All right, it is almost getting dark." And this man said, "I am very grateful to you for releasing me, but I do not know the way out of this forest. I don't know which way to go. I am dazed." He said, "Don't worry, I will take you." So he held his hand in the dark. He took him outside the forest, and then he showed, "Do you see the lights over there? That is your village. Go, keep that in your vision, and then you go about to your village. Walk slowly." So this man was very much touched by the third person's kindness, and so he says, "Sir, you have been so very kind. Come to my house and accept my hospitality. You can stay with me for the night, and tomorrow morning you can go your way wherever you want to go." But the third person robber says, "No, no, 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 no. I cannot come up to your house, because if I go there, the police will catch me." He has the fear within him, see. Just one thing is that fear is still there, and he goes away. Saying this, Sri Ramakrishna says that the person who said kill him and rob him of everything is a tamasic person. That is the tamas, the nature of tamas is like that. Take away everything from the other person and destroy that person. That is the kind of the nature of tamas. And the other person, rajasic person, is the one who says, "Why destroy? Take away things, rob him of things, but don't destroy him." Whereas the sattvic person is one who will who released you, but then he also cannot come with you to the destination. So sattva, that means he is afraid of getting entangled over there, being caught over by the police. So here, saying this, Sri Ramakrishna says even sattva also, that is, you feeling of joy all the time, that is okay. You can feel the happiness and joy, but that is also binding. If something happens that changes the circumstance of having happiness or joy, you become very perturbed. Such a sattvic person becomes very perturbed. I have seen some people who are extremely sattvic, but if some trials and tribulations come to them, they will feel totally unnerved. They don't know how to handle the situation. So sattva is good, but there should be also, and tamas is of course essential, a little essential in order to relieve yourself of all the responsibilities at times. So therefore he says, Sattvam Sukhe Sanjayati. He says Sattva also binds you to happiness. It binds you to happiness. I am comfortable here, do not disturb me. That's what some people say. Do not disturb me, I am okay over here, do not trouble me. That is what it is. Sattva, our mind upwards, the mind that is always going down, it takes you upwards. But when the mind wants to go beyond the happiness level, then it does not let it go. It wants to hold on. And then in the scriptures we find Rasa Aswadanavat. Narada in the Bhakti Sutras says Rasa Aswadanavat. You give a cow the cud or a sugar cane, for example. It will chew and chew and chew and chew. It will keep on chewing on it. So that is what it is. And there is another example is of the camel. Camels like these acacia thorns, the acacia plants. So you let the camel into the bush, they will go and find the acacia tree, and then they will start chewing on the acacia bark and also on the leaves. As they leave, as it takes it, acacia plant is full of thorns. So it will be chewing on the thorns, and the thorns will make some, it will hurt the camel, and then blood will be oozing out of that. But the camel thinks that these thorns are giving it the taste. So it is the taste of its own blood that it is it is enjoying. Similarly, sattva also, it is good to have sattva, no doubt, but sometimes rajas is essential, but one must go beyond the sattva also. Then only you can reach to the highest. That is what he says, sattvat sattvam sukhe sanjayati. And then he says, rajaha karmani bharata. Rajas, it is like mercury. It's very slippery. If you have taken mercury in your hand, you will know it will not stay in your hand. It will just slips through your fingers, and it will always be moving. So it will not be steady at all. Mercury will never be steady. So if somebody tells you to do something that is good or something that is helpful to you, then the Rajasic person does not listen to it. He will do whatever, he or she will do whatever he or she wants to do. That is the nature of the Rajasic person. Rajaha karmani bharata. Always wants to keep oneself engaged in actions. Does not believe in conserving one's energy. And the stark example nowadays is the mobile phone. If you have the mobile phone in your hand, you're always swiping continuously, and it is like another kind of an addiction. Many people have this addiction. Continuously keep on nowadays. That is why our attention span has also become very much less because of this, especially with the advent of the smartphone. Swiping all the time, we are swiping through. So rajas is like that. It keeps on, make you work and work and work and work. Desires are like that. They don't allow your mind to keep quiet. It does not allow your mind to become calm. And when you light up a fire in the bush, for example, and keep the kettle on top of it, it's not long before the water keeps boiling. Trishna Sanga, that's what he says. Trishna Sanga Samudbhavam. It is accompanied with, Rajas is accompanied with this Trishna. That means this boiling all the time. Keeps on boiling, boiling, boiling. That is the idea. And then what does tamas do? To do jnanam avrutyatu tamaha pramade sanjayati uta. This tamas, it debilitates. It makes you disabled. Your faculties become disabled, so to say. It is indeed so. Some people have got very good physical health, good intellect, but they have their understanding has been debilitated. It has become, they have almost become a disabled. They don't want to do anything. They're always keeping and brooding over themselves. Somebody says something to you, you keep on brooding. Give it away, give it up. So that is what is. That is the nature of tamas. All of us have got these three natures. Nobody is devoid of all of this. But it's just that some of us have the tamas more, some of us rajas more. Very few of us indeed have an excess of. And the rajas, another word Sri Krishna uses is pramade. Pramada means not knowing what is good and what is bad. The difference between right and wrong is lost. Duryodhana, the king, he was one like that. He had studied exactly whatever the Pandavas had studied with the same teacher. They had the same teacher, and he was a great scholar of all scriptures those days. But he says very clearly that I do not know what is. I know what is good. See, janami dharmam nachame pravrittihi janami adharmam nachame nivrittihi. I know what is dharma, what is virtue, what is good, but nachame pravritti. I don't have any pravritti, I do not have any inclination to go towards it. See, this is, the wicked people have this. They know what is right. They can give you a big lecture on virtue. There is no doubt about that. But they do not have that inclination to follow the path. So, nachame pravrittihi. And then he says, janami adharmam. I know what is wise, what is wrong path, what is the wrong path. Nachame nivrittihi. But unfortunately, I just cannot hold myself from going towards it. All the time, my feet are walking towards that. Nachame nivrittihi. So, this is a great lesson that we learn from Sri Krishna here. That, sattvam sukhe sanjayati. Sattva gives you happiness or joy, but don't get stuck in it. You have to go further and further. Sri Ramakrishna's illustrations are extraordinary. He gives another illustration. There was a brahmachari who was walking through, or was a brahmachari, or he was a holy man. He was walking through. He was walking through a village, and he saw a woodcutter. That means a woodcutter. He was cutting wood, and then he used to cut the wood and then take it to the market and sell it, working extremely hard. Naturally, the holy man, and he greeted the holy man very respectfully, offered him some water to drink and some food to eat and all that. So this man became very happy with this, and he said, look here, you are working very hard, so I will tell you something. I will give you some instructions if you are willing to follow it. I said, yes, sir, I am willing to follow whatever you say. He said, well, I will give you a formula for becoming rich. I said, yes, surely. Okay, now that you are cutting this wood, you go deeper. He gave the direction towards that forest. As you go deeper and deeper, you will find better and better things. So the next day, this woodcutter follows the instructions of this guru, and he goes deeper into the forest, and he finds it's full of sandalwood trees. And so he cuts some sandalwood and he brings it and becomes extremely rich. But then he says, the brahmachari, that's the guru, did not ask me to stop there. He said, go forward, go onward. So he went even onward, and there he found a diamond, a gold mine. So of course he brought it back, became super rich, but still he said, no, the brahmachari did not ask me to stop there. He asked me to go further. And he goes deeper and deeper into the forest, and there he finds a diamond mine, and he becomes very rich. But of course, the story ends over there. We should not take the story too much. It is just for example. Saying this, Sri Ramakrishna says that do not be stuck by some joys and happiness that you get. Go onward and onward towards the path of the divine. You will find greater and greater, you will have greater and greater realizations. So that's what we should do in our life. We should not just be happy by being goody-goodies. We should be better and better and better. That is the idea. So at last, when we are in that state wherein we are one with the divine, we feel that oneness with the divine, then we can rest. Till then we need to keep on going. So Sri Krishna says, Sattvam Sukhe Sanjayati Rajaha Karmani Bharata. Action is necessary, but there should also be, we should also put a stop to such actions at times. Withdraw your mind. Kurma Angani va Sarvashaha. Sri Krishna says, how does the tortoise or the turtle, what does it do? It is traveling, and then it, as soon as it senses any danger, it withdraws all its head and its limbs inside the shell. So sometimes we need to withdraw our activities. That is, the limbs are nothing but representation of the activities in our life. Just spend a little time for yourself. If we do not befriend ourselves, we will not have any friend left later. See, when I go to some retirement villages sometimes, I see that they are all, especially the elderly people, they are all eager to talk to you. They are eager to have some conversation with you all the time, because all their years they have been, throughout their life, they have always been dependent upon the other people to talk or to have a conversation or to get something. They have always been dependent upon others. Have they ever been dependent upon themselves? Have they found that the real happiness within themselves? Have they found the real friend within themselves? This is a big question, and I have seen some people who are totally very happy. I used to go in Sydney to a retirement a village, or actually it was an aged care center. Very often I used to go there and meet some of the elderly people in the community, and one of them was a devotee from Sri Lanka. Extraordinary personality. He was in his 90s at that time, and all the staff in the facility respected him greatly. Everybody used to call him Appa, that is father. So, and he was like that. He would just go and sit outside for a little while, talk to some of them, and then would go sit and read and read and read. Even in that age, he would keep on reading and then keep meditating to the japa. So many hours a day he would spend in silent meditation and never complain. The staff would tell me that here is one man who the like of whom we have never seen in our career, in our working life. He never demands anything. He asks for something, and if it is given, he is very, very happy. If it is not given also, he is contented. He is happy with himself. And just being with him or just going near him brings joy to us. This is the type of people that we want. We want to be, because nowadays we are living for long periods of time. So if we have to do that, in order to do that, he had spent a lot of time in living within himself, befriending the divine that is within oneself. That is very important. So then Sri Krishna, in the 10th verse, he generalizes this. Rajas tamas chabhibhuya sattvam bhavati bharata. Rajas sattvam tamas chaiva tamas sattvam rajas tatha. Overpowering rajas and tamas, sattva prevails sometimes. Suppressing sattva and tamas, rajas becomes dominant. And likewise, dominating over sattva and rajas, tamas holds the field. So each of our characteristics or character traits, they overpower each other at times, and they present different scenarios in our life. Sometimes sattva is very prominent and we forgive everybody, we forget anybody doing anything at all, anything bad to us. We just generalize it, and then we are free from any kind of attachments to our feelings. And then at times the rajas takes over. No. I must fight that person. I must give him a befitting response. So that is what we do sometimes. And then tamas is when, I am not interested in this world at all. No, I am happy with myself. I can, as long as I am happy, let the world go to dogs. I am not bothered about it. That kind of feeling also comes to us in our day-to-day life. So, rajas, tamas, therefore Sri Krishna is saying this to say that when you feel the rajas or tamas or sattva at times, don't think that you are that person. See, you are not that person. You are, at times you are sattvic, at times you are rajasic, at times you are tamasic, but a majority of your life is ruled by either sattva or by rajas or by tamas. Mostly rajas rules our day-to-day life. We are mostly rajasic in our day-to-day life. So that is the idea. Now Sri Krishna describes which characteristics manifest when the characteristics manifest in our life. Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate jnanam yada tada vidyat vivruddham sattvamityuta. When through all the senses, which are the portals of the body, when all through the senses knowledge, happiness and similar characteristics manifest, then indeed it should be understood that sattva is dominant. So this is how we can understand whether we are sattvic or rajasic or tamasic. So what does he say? Sarvadvareshu asmin dehe sarvadvareshu prakashaha upajayate. It means when through all the senses. Indriya or the senses are like the windows or the doors. So we can, through the windows, open windows or the doors, we can see the shining, the light coming through in our life. And then we know what is inside this room. So Sattvika is, a Sattvika person is one who does not hide anything. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Mon mukh ak koro. In Bengali he used to say, let your speech and your deeds be synonymous. See, sometimes we say something, but we are feeling something else. We will tell somebody, oh, you are a wonderful person. But within our mind we are saying, this is a rogue, this is a rascal. So we say that, don't we? We do that. So even though we feel something else within ourselves, we express it differently. Of course, if we have to live in a society, we need to use words. But then our feelings should not be wrong feelings. That is the idea. Sarvadvareshu. He does not have anything. Sri Ramakrishna would never hide anything from anyone. So, prakashaha upajayate. Everything within himself, everything within that person can be very transparent, which can be seen. So, prakashaha upajayate. The karma indriya and jnanendriya. That is, the organs of action and the organ of understanding, they are both in synchrony with each other. In the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna talks about this. Sthita prajna, that means a person of a steady intellect. How does he do? How does he sit? How does he talk? How does he eat? How does he sleep? Everything is as if it is the ideal that one has to follow. And that the most important thing is that person does not have any pride in himself. Prakashaha upajayate. And his actions reveal his character. He will not be able to do anything that is wrongful to the others, hurtful to the others. Sri Ramakrishna, he says, if you eat garlic, then your burp will reveal that you have had garlic. So that is what it is. So your actions will reveal what is your character. It's true. And Sri Ramakrishna says, when you go to such a person, he will generally talk to you only about godly subjects or that which is useful to you. Will not talk that which is rubbish, that which is a mere gossip. We had Swami Damodarananji here many years ago, or 25 years ago. He was here in Brisbane and in Sydney. So he used to say to the devotees when they would come, let us sit and let us have holy gossip. Holy gossip. Because everybody is interested in gossip. And he said, let us have holy gossip. And he will talk to them about his association with Ramana Maharshi. He stayed with Ramana Maharshi in Tiruvannamalai in the 1930s. And he will talk about him mostly, and he will talk about other great saints. So holy gossip is okay. But no vain talk. No fault finding with others. No hurting the others by thought, word or deed. And he is very peaceful within himself. And then says, Prakashahu upajayate jnanam yada tadyat vidyat vivruddham. And he has a very large heart. Vishala hridaya. Vishal hridaya means large-hearted person. There is sahishnata or forbearance in such a person. Does not hurt anyone, and he will forego any trials and tribulation for the sake of the others. That is the nature of a sattvika person. And then lobha pravrittirarambha karmana mashamaspruha rajasyetani jayante vivruddhe bharatarshabha. Then Sri Krishna gives a list of the person who is full of lobha, that means a rajas. What is it? Rajasika person is lobhi, that means greedy, avarice or greed. Always wants to multiply his fortunes, his possessions, etc. Not happy with just one thing, but having more and more duplicate, triplicate copies of the same thing. Does not bother sharing it with the others also. And another aspect of a Rajasic person is that he tries to have others' possession to himself. That means if somebody is enjoying something, he wants the same thing to himself. So avarice, lobha, pravrittirarambha, pravrittipara, constantly busy. We call them busybodies. All the time, busy, busy, busy. Even when there is nothing to do, he will try to find something to make oneself busy. That is, one tries to bind more and more. So Swami Vivekananda used to say, to pile more gloom on gloom. You are trying to pile more and more of actions upon yourself. Karma yoga becomes karma bandha. That means karma yoga, it just becomes a bondage to such a person. Always hankers for name and fame. Extrovert, all the time extrovert. And he does not, and then pravrittirarambha, karmanam ashamaha spruha. Karmanam arambha ashamaha. He ceaselessly plans and tries to execute the works. But he is very restless. Such a person is very restless. Gives up something as soon as he burns his finger there, or as soon as there is some drawback there, immediately that person will stop and then go and try to do something else. Oh, we see this every day. You give some people some work, they will be doing things which they are not supposed to do. You ask them to be at one station, they will not be there for too long. Too boring for them to do that work. They will go and try to take up somebody else's work. And that also they will not complete. And then will be hopping from one place to the other. That is what it is. That is the kind of work, that is the nature of a Rajasic person. And such a person does not believe in silence. Does not believe in silence. All the time talking and talking and talking. Even here sometimes when we have puja or any programs, people will be talking and talking and talking. I said, can't you sit for a few minutes, for half an hour or 1 hour, just sit there and just enjoy? Especially when we go to classical music programs, we see this. You see, the musician is pouring his heart out over there, and yet there are some people who are constantly, throughout the concert, they will be talking and talking as if they have no other time to talk. Just like that. That is the Rajasic person's nature. So they try to dig wells at every place, and if they don't find water at one place, they will go to another place. No, that's not. You have to go deeper and deeper. And such a person does not believe in peace at all. Pravrittirarambha karmanam ashamaha spruha. Spruha means longing, full of desires. Even though the person has suffered a lot, yet he wants to eat the thorn like the camels, example that I gave. And this is, spruha is that which burns constantly. The more you feed wood to fire, it will keep on going. That is why there was this great king called Yayati. He had a wonderful wife called Devayani. Yayati came from a very illustrious family, and he was also a very great scholar and knower of and a great sadhaka, but he was so much attached to the pleasure of his senses that as a king he was performing his actions, his duties very well, no doubt about that, but there was this burning desire within him to enjoy more and more. But he soon found out that he had becoming weaker and weaker as he started aging. And therefore he started becoming very pensive and very morose. Therefore his ministers came and said, "Sir, what is the matter? You are not attending to your duties and you are sitting there always worrying about something." He said, "Look here, I am now almost reaching middle age and I do not have any more energy, or the energy that I used to have 5-10 years ago, and I am unable to enjoy that which is given to me much. So I am trying to find out if I can become younger. Is there anybody who can make me younger?" So the minister said, "I don't know whether you can be made any younger. You will only grow older. But anyway, we will send some people to announce everywhere that if somebody can make you younger, they will be rewarded very much." So they sent people and everybody came, said, "Oh, we know how to make you younger and give you more and more of joy." But no, he said no. Then at last a saintly person, a sage came to the court and he said, "Well, my dear king, I know of a solution to you can become younger. Definitely. How? Well, if a young person can give you his youth, then you can become younger. But that person will turn older. He will get old like you. But you will become younger. You will get his age." I said, "Very good." So word was spread throughout the country, and people went over there to find out if nobody, not a single youth came forward to give his youth to the king and take the king's old age. So the king became very worried again, said there is nobody coming forward. And Yayati had a son, he was a very faithful son, and he saw his father pensive, and he came to know that the sage has the ability to give the king his youth. So he came and told the king, "Sir, I am happy. Father, I am happy to give my youth to you." The father said, "How can you do that?" He said, "No, I can do that." So he went to the rishi, and the rishi said, "All right, O king, you take your son's youth and you give him your old age. So that happened, and Yayati got his son's youth and then started becoming young and started enjoying the world for another 20-30 years. And then again he became pensive. He was getting older and older. Then it dawned upon to him. And in the Bhagavatam we come across this story wherein Yayati says, Na jatu kama kamanam upabhogena shamyati havisha krishnavartmeva bhuya eva abhivardate. Kamaha kamanam na jatu. That means desire cannot be quenched by desire. It cannot be put down by desire. And he gives an example. Havisha krishnavartmeva. In the fire, if you pour ghee or if you pour oil, it will become greater and greater. The fire will burn more and more. Bhuya eva abhivardate. It will become greater and greater. So desires are like that. You enjoy one thing, try to get one thing, again you will want the same thing, or you want greater enjoyment than what you had. And throughout your life you will be doing only this. That's what Sri Krishna is talking about here. Spriha, that means this longing or this desire is never ending. And though one has suffered, yet one wants to eat the same thorny bush like the camel does. So these are the characteristics of a Rajasic person. And then the third one we will study it of the Tamasic person, 13th verse. Aprakasho pravrittischa pramado mohayevacha tamasyetani jayante vivruddhe kurunandana. When the tamas dominates, what happens? There is lack of intelligence. Aprakashaha. Lack of effort, negligence and delusion. Aprakash. Tamas is the lowest characteristics that we have. Where tamas is present, jnana or knowledge is not manifest. Darkness and light cannot go together. If there is light, there is no darkness. In fact, if you observe it, what is darkness? Is there something called darkness? There is nothing called darkness. It is just absence of light is darkness. That's all. Just bring in light and then there is the darkness just is gone. So it was, therefore it says tamas is that wherein darkness remains, manifests. And without this knowledge, without this light of knowledge, there is no sense of good and bad. One does not know what is right and what is wrong. Therefore he says, apravrittischa. Apravritti means no intention to act. Pravritti means to act. No apravritti, that means no intention to act. Nor there is any nivritti from it. From giving up that which one has taken up, just hangs over to one's feelings, hangs over to one's hurt feelings, etc. So if the tamasic person is one who keeps on bothering about what has happened to him always, and therefore is in a state of stupor. So apravrittihi, and such a person is aprakashaha apravrittischa pramadaha moda evacha. Pramada means forgetful or don't care attitude. See, don't care attitude. I don't care about you. I am only worried about, I am only concerned about myself. That kind of an attitude a tamasic person develops. And then moha. Moha is engaged in one's own welfare. Pramado moha evacha tamas etani tamasi jayante vivruddhe kurunandana. These are the characteristics of a tamasic person. When a tamas dominates, there is lack of intelligence, lack of effort, no intention to improve oneself. That is the idea. Tamasic person is a person who does not want to improve oneself. Kopamanduk, like a frog in the well. My whole universe is this well. There can be nothing greater than the well. So that is the type of person that a tamasic vrittita, a person with that characteristics of tamas has. So we will stop here for the time being, and then we'll continue it the next week. Om Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gaganasadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmikantam Kamalanayanam Yogiridhyanagamyam Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaikanaatham. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Thank you very much. Today is the last Sunday of the month, and we have langar downstairs. The kirtan will start around 11:15 or 11:30. After that there will be langar also. You are all welcome to